What's up,
Power.
Boomer?
Hey, Boomer. How you
Hey, I'm
doing?
all right.
It looks like you're doing great. You know why?
Why?
Got a mouthful of Werther.
Mm, I did just finish one of these bad boys. So
Oh,
I love Werthers, right? Like that's
uh-huh.
the Boomer in me.
Yeah.
These are chewy caramel Werthers.
Oh my God, even better.
Game changer.
Yeah. But they're a little crunchy on the outside, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Like hear that crunch?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
No,
That was your mouth, right? So I say that's
sure,
a very
it was.
echoey crunch,
Yeah,
crunch, 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 crunch.
but yes, that is why I'm doing
Holy
so
shit.
great right now.
That brings me back.
Back in the day,
Yeah, but I haven't
just the
had
thought
one of
of
those.
Werthers.
No, like in a long time. That's just like one of those, like, I would go over to my grandparents' house, and they would have those,
Yeah.
and they're so fucking good.
Yeah, like, I don't know where my love for Werther's ca like, I don't remember my grandparents having them,
Really?
right? No, I don't, but I do know that it is a very old person thing,
Yeah.
but I mean,
Stereotypically.
sure, well,
Yeah.
factually, but yeah, once you pop, you can't stop, kinda like the meth, you know?
God,
Not even
dude.
once.
That's 2 episodes in a row where we talk about methamphetamines? God, what a time to be alive.
Yeah, don't do it, kids, not even
Yeah,
once, they
and
say.
and I did just have a glass of cava, and
Mm.
my mouth is still numb, but I am feeling good.
Oh my
Feeling
gosh, you
really
are
good.
podcasting while intoxicated.
That's true.
Wow.
That is true.
We're in
Um,
for an adventure, folks.
yeah, I can't get over that feeling, like that. Shut up, Sam. That one where it's like you think about something and like the way it used to be, and I'm getting older, and so maybe I'm going through
You're
like
going nostalgic on
yeah,
us.
yeah. So it's like
Okay.
that. I don't know if it's like the midlife crisis in me coming out, anything
Uh-huh.
like that. I do think that that is coming in hot, whether I want it or not. Like
Oh.
it's on its way. Yeah, but like thinking about like the good times, you know what I mean? Like I love my life right now. I really, really do. But like looking back, like I want to pick up my Nokia and I want to play.
Snake.
Do you remember Snake?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like why like the phone really wasn't even for making phone calls because half my
No.
friends didn't have a phone at that point. And so mom could get in touch with me
Mhm.
if she needed me and to play Snake.
Yeah. I used it for T9. Remember that?
The texting?
Texting?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. Dude, like, okay, so was that the one where you had to like,
Yeah,
it
like,
would automatically assume what you were trying to say?
if you wanted the letter B, you had to type 2 twice, A,
Oh,
B.
that's right, right.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
or
that's right.
1 twice, yeah.
Yeah, and then
So,
QWERTY was a game changer then, right?
QWERTY.
QWERTY, yeah, because that's what it was called when it was like, you could just hit, for boobs,
Mhm.
you do, like, 2, 5, 5, 2, and it would be like it give you, like, 3 options. It was like
I didn't know it was called QWERTY, but yeah,
I think it was
where
QWERTY.
okay. Where it
Yeah.
kind of is it's like, "Oh, I pick up where you're going with this," and it
Yeah,
suggests
yeah.
things. Yeah,
It's like the earliest AI,
yeah. It
right?
was
Like, the
because our
first thing that
phones
came
do that now. You start
Yeah.
typing and it thinks it
It's
knows
a
what you're gonna
s
say based on what your conversation is. Yes.
I am not trying to say ducking.
Oh,
That's the dumbest AI,
it
like,
is.
why
My
that's not fixed
god.
at this point. Nobody
Right?
says ducking unless, like, you're trying to dodge a ball.
Well, also, I love how you went ducking like you duck. I went ducking like the animal. So every
What?
time I write duck, I'm like, "Why the
Like, we're
frick
just
would I
ducking
talk
around?
about a duck?" Yeah. Duck you.
Oh,
Like, I don't wanna anyway.
no.
But yeah, that
Yeah.
Nokia, that was my first phone, and I didn't get a
Yeah.
phone until, I think, senior year of high school for me, because
What year was
before
that?
that
2002?
2002?
2001.
2002?
Mhm.
Because before that, I had the pager.
Oh my god. I never had a
Mhm.
pager. That was way before my time.
You never had a pager?
No. It was on its way out. Yeah, there's no need for a
Wow.
pager when you can actually just, like, pick up a phone and call somebody.
Yeah, no, we had the pager, and my family had little codes, like, if I text 911, that means get your butt home,
Ooh.
or call me right away,
Yeah.
which back
Wait,
then
call on what?
the high schools had and the junior highs, payphones. You just grabbed your quarters
Time
from
machines.
your coin change thing and pop it in, call.
What kinda drugs were you dealing?
No drugs.
You weren't dealing drugs and you had a pager.
No. Never saw
Hmm.
drugs in high school, but I had a pager.
Huh,
Yeah.
that's crazy.
Those payphones too. Remember the, collect call?
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. And obviously, we gotta go to that commercial because that's, like, incredible advertising
Yeah.
that
Well,
we
first
we oughta Oh, yeah, go ahead.
for people who don't know the collect call thing, 1, you're too young to be listening to this
Yeah.
podcast.
You are not the demographic.
But you can call and state your name, and then the other person decided whether
"You
or
have a
not
collect call from
Sam, and then my mom
would you
can
like to
say,
accept this call?"
"Yes,
"Beep."
correct," and then we can start talking, but my mom would get charged for how many minutes we speak.
Oh, yeah.
So what people would do is, "You have a collect call from"
Insert all the information.
correct, like that in that commercial Jeff was about to say
Yeah.
is,
"You have a collect call from
"We oughta baby eats a boy."
would you like to accept?"
No.
And then you know the information. You
Yeah,
don't have to pay,
yeah,
and
and the
you move
information
on.
was, "Oh, they had a baby, and
It
it's a
was a
boy."
boy. Oh, that's so nice.
That's another thing too.
Yeah.
Commercials back then,
Oh, they're so much
I
better.
still remember some of the commercials. Like, let me hit you with one.
Oh, a testy time?
All right, ready?
Yep.
Pizza in the morning, pizza in the evening, pizza at supper time. When pizza's on a bagel, you can have pizza anytime.
Yeah. Yeah, it's
Bagel
fantastic.
bites.
Bagel
Yes,
bites. Yeah. So good. Like,
so incredible.
advertising, actually, they like, it was different. Right now, it's, like, super targeted,
Yeah.
you know? So they know exactly what you wanna eat. They know
Mhm.
who you were hanging out with
Yeah,
because 'cause they're geo-tracking, which is
correct.
extremely scary. But back then, it
Love
was
it.
like, "Dude, the only way we're gonna sell any bagel bites is if we have a killer ass jingle,
Yeah.
and
I mean,
it better slap."
and it's still stuck in my head. It is
Yeah.
great. There is or, that doll, the My Buddy, that was kind of life size, not like full body for a kid it was, but
Yeah.
my buddy, and he had overalls, and I wanted a My Buddy. I never got one, but I wanted one back then.
See, I never even knew about those because I had real friends.
Oh, and yeah, no.
Hmm.
My buddy would have been my bestest friend.
That reminds me of Ted. That was just a good movie. Ted the
Ted
fucking bear.
with
The
the
teddy
bear,
bear. Yeah, Mark
the
Wahlberg.
thunder song.
Thunder Buddies for life. Yeah.
Oh,
Says you're
commercials.
just God's farts.
Oh my
You
god,
don't
yep.
remember that?
That no, I remember it.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean,
that's funny.
commercials aren't dead, right? They still have
No.
them.
Yeah.
My kids so we still have DirecTV. We also have,
Oh,
like, Hulu and Netflix and all those
that is
streaming
very
things.
boomery of you
I
too.
kn I know. I need to just cut the cord, as they say, get rid of
Yeah,
cable because 'cause I'm already paying
1000%.
for all the streaming stuff. But so anytime we're not on Netflix or something and the kids are watching normal, like, Disney or something TV, like the channel, and they hear commercials, it is the worst. And now I know how my parents feel or used to feel because it's, "Mom, mom, mom, look, look." And if I don't look fast enough and I miss whatever the commercial was, like, "You didn't see
Game
it.
over.
I wanted that." It's like the worst.
Yeah. But all you gotta do is hit rewind now.
Yeah, correct, because I can do that, but I don't want my kids to know I can do that. I'll be
Yeah.
rewinding all gosh
The
darn day.
all the time. Oh, man, yeah, like, when you were saying you graduated in 2002, was it?
Yeah, sure did.
I would still like to go back to that terrifying feeling of not knowing if we were gonna actually make it past the year 2000,
Oh, yes.
Y2K.
Yes. I do remember. So, I remember all the buzz, right? Like,
Mhm.
are the computers going to
Are they
work?
compliant? Yeah.
Yes, it was just so weird to like, it kinda made me feel like the present way to compare it, I would say, was like COVID-19 when, like, all
Uh-huh.
the scare came out about well, and it was, all the people were dying and people hospitals overrun, all that stuff, but it was that same panic back then
Yeah,
of, "Oh my
absolutely
gosh,
terrifying.
is anything gonna work? Are we gonna be able to get water?" Grocery stores were selling everything. Why? People were taking money out of the bank.
Oh, yeah. Everything's gonna shut down,
Yes.
and all they needed to do was just add another line. Just add one more
They just
line.
needed a really good engineer to come in and program that right up.
Like, looking back on it,
Yeah.
like, were we really that dumb?
Yeah.
We bought that up hook, line, and sinker. Like,
Oh, yeah.
what were they trying to cover up? Holy shit. We should look back and see what
I
was gonna be covered up in that time. What
I'm
was
sure
happening?
there's so many theories out there,
Oh my
and I'll
god.
go down a rabbit hole, you know that.
Yeah. Oh, I
Yeah,
love a good conspiracy.
same.
But, like, I remember that little yellow it was always just, like, a little yellow tag on, like, the TV. "This TV is Y2K compliant."
Oh my god.
It's like, "Well, thank God the TV is gonna be okay."
I don't remember
Like,
that.
you don't remember that? Oh,
No,
man, it's
not the
crazy.
warning.
Oh, man, it's
Yeah,
like I could, like, draw that sign. I mean, it'd be an easy draw because
yeah,
it was just, like,
just a
text.
caution sign.
Yeah. Yeah,
My
just
god.
text. It's crazy. It's crazy to think that, like, that much mass hysteria over just, like, going from 19 we rolled over from 1899 to 1900, no problem.
Yeah.
What were we freaking out about from 1999 to 2000?
Oh, I didn't even think about that. Well, did we
My
even have
god.
computers in 18 whatever?
No.
See,
Shut
so
up. You
that's why they
fucking
weren't
with me.
worrying.
That's awesome.
Uh,
Yeah, that was quite terrifying. The other thing too, is just, like, we had a street light that was just, like, always home base, and it,
yeah.
like, breaks my heart when, like, I can't get my kids to just go outside. Just, like,
Mhm.
go outside and play. I also it was nice because I lived in a cul-de-sac. Um, you know what a cul-de-sac is, right?
I mean, I would die to live in a cul-de-sac.
Yeah.
Our
But,
neighbors
like
live in one, and it is everything. The let your kids go out and ride their bike. Only 5 people would hit them with a car, the other 5 in your
yeah,
cul-de-sac.
everybody else would be fine.
Yes.
Um, why why is there not an English word for cul-de-sac?
Is that not English?
I as I said it to you just then, I was like
Mhm.
it was the first time I'd ever thought of it, but it
Yeah.
sounds very French because I think it's
Okay, yes.
Culdesac, right?
I have
Cul-de-sac.
there's no way to know.
That's fucking weird. Anyway, yeah, like, the lamp out there, like, the light post,
Everyone
home
had a light
base.
post. We
It's
had a
home
light
base.
post. Yep.
Yeah. Did you ever shake yours?
We of course, we shook it. Also, we as soon as if that light is on and we're not home yet, your ass is
Ass whooping.
grass. Yeah.
You're getting a
It
911 text message or
exactly.
a pager message from mom. You're freaking
Exactly.
out. But the cool thing about that is, like, mom could just, like, open the door, "Sam,
Yeah.
time for bed,"
Yeah.
or whatever it was.
Or back in the day, it was a triangle for dinner.
You didn't
Oh,
have a
no,
triangle.
that was not
I
our
was like, "Oh
generation.
my
That's
god."
that's
Yeah,
the
that's, like,
boomers.
way boomer, yeah.
Yeah.
That's when, like, people on the back 40 needed to hear that it was supper time because that
All
thing could
day.
probably just reverberate across the plains,
Well, because there's
through
no
the cows,
trees. It was just fields upon fields upon fields.
for as far as the eye could see. Uh,
But, like, we used to play with the streetlights Manhunt. Did you ever play that?
no. No, what was
Oh,
that?
okay. Anyway, it's just where anyway, just a game we would play, but my parents, we would just never be inside. We were outside
Always
all of the
outside.
time. They were
Yeah,
fighting to get us inside, and now it's the opposite. I am
yeah.
fighting to get my kids outside. Like,
Just go outside,
go
yeah.
outside, touch grass, go.
Touch grass.
Yes.
That's a
Mhm.
thing.
Mhm.
Get your ass out in front of the computer.
Yeah.
Speaking so, like, the other thing is if you wanted to use the computer, you
Mhm.
needed to make sure nobody needed the phone for quite some time because
Yes.
you had to do that dial tone that it was like, "Ooh, ooh, and, like, is that actually what the phone sounds like on the other side? Is that the Matrix? Like, I don't really
So,
understand what that sound was coming from.
yours sounds a little different than my memory. My
Oh
memory
my
was
god.
to, like, get onto the internet.
Yeah.
Wow,
Are
I
you
guess you're
serious?
yeah. You know what?
What?
After we're done,
Uh-huh.
let's
We're gonna look it
jump
up.
on together and let's listen to I you know that there are so many
Dial
YouTube
wait, yeah.
videos of the dial-up
Yeah.
computer.
Was it dial-up? Is that what they would
Yeah,
call that? I don't
I
remember
think
that.
so.
That's
Anyway,
crazy.
crazy. Or, like, minutes on your cell phones.
Katie and
Like
I got in so much trouble for
yeah,
going over minutes.
I bet because you guys had the long distance thing. Same,
Yeah.
I had a long distance boyfriend, and my mom had calling cards,
Oh my god.
and I would sneak the calling cards and use all of her minutes because you could prepay these calling cards that had, 50 minutes on it, and then
You're a
you
thief.
dial a specific number, I think, and you enter the code from the
The
card,
calling card, yeah.
correct? And then it connected you and allowed you to talk for however many minutes, and then you could call a specific number to see how many more minutes were left on your calling card.
Oh my god, that's just
Because cell phone
crazy.
services, it wasn't a thing to have unlimited minutes or unlimited texting. You even got charged, was it per word or per letter?
Oh,
Something
for
like
text
that.
messaging,
Yeah,
right? I do remember
yeah.
that.
Or, like, I
Um,
remember when I got my BlackBerry, like, Verizon to Verizon was free, but not Verizon to AT&T. Like, that's
yeah,
when,
what
like,
was their
it started
issue?
changing. I don't know.
Yeah, that's crazy. Like the
Like, gang
technology,
life.
they
Yeah.
were so it was like such a change that like they were like, "Oh, well, we can't interact with each other." But now they're like so integrated, right?
Yeah.
And working together. It's crazy. Um, with another huge change, it's just like you don't give your computer aids by going to like BearShare or Napster or any of
Oh
those
my
other
god.
like download services. Like I
Uh-huh.
remember going to try and download Nickelback, the entire album, and 4.5 days later, I finally had the album.
'Cause it took that long.
It took that long, yeah, for sure. And then the other thing too is it's like, if your computer shut down or something or like closed, then it was like stopped. Like it's
Yeah.
not going to continue to download at that
I
point.
r I remember burning CDs,
Uh-huh.
and I have several where you remember AOL chat?
Oh,
If
yeah.
someone entered the chat, the door creaking open would make a sound, and if someone left and, like, logged off of AOL, the door would slam.
Yeah.
So I have many CDs where as they were being burned,
Oh
someone
my god,
entered a chat
seriously?
or left, and so you can hear or just while you're playing.
That's crazy. Um, but, like, did you ever listen to, like, try and, like, read the lyrics, but you were listening to a cassette tape, and you had to,
Uh,
like, rewind it to a certain number or, like, whatever because it was on the count, the
mm,
whole thing?
I don't
Did you ever
remember
do
the
that?
ca no, I don't remember the count, but we would have the cassette tape. I would
Mhm.
play, pause, write down the words. Play,
Oh
pause,
my
write
god.
down the words. Play, pause. So I had a whole book of just and then I'd rewind it all the way and sing the song in verbatim. That's how
Wow.
I memorize
That's
songs.
so good.
Oh, yeah.
Uh, how'd you rewind it?
Well, we had a rewind button on the cassette thing.
I don't know why I didn't use the rewind button. I remember
Oh,
taking my cassette tape out and putting
and
it on
then
the end of a pencil.
yep, and twisting.
No, you just do this. Like,
Oh,
you
do
just
it because
whip it around in a circle.
because you're a boy, and that's just probably more
It
fun.
was probably yeah, it
Whip
was
it
just more
around.
exciting that way
I
to get it
remember
really
once
removed.
I was 14 and I had a job. I worked
What were you
at
doing?
an ear,
Tell us,
nose,
paint
and
a
throat
picture.
and I worked at an ear, nose, and throat doctor across the street from my school. So my high
Okay.
school, I would walk across the street to the ear, nose, and throat doctor, and I would just file paperwork, answer phone calls, medical charts, file them, mail statements, that kind of stuff. But one time my parents came to pick me up from work, and I was super excited. Someone gave me a box of Godiva, I think is how you say it, chocolates.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. I know what
Yes,
you're talking
and
about.
I get in the car and I'm showing my parents and they are stone cold. They're mad about something. I was like, "Oh shit, what did I
Yeah.
do?" They found my book of lyrics of me recording all the songs from cassette tapes, and I'm listening to Usher, Missy
Oh
Elliott,
god.
the
Oh my god.
504 Boys, like, just stuff I shouldn't have been listening to, and so all the lyrics, they had me circle every cuss word in my big
Oh.
book, and I was grounded 1 day for every cuss word. That was all summer, which is when I started
Oh.
sneaking out.
That's
Joke
it.
joke's on you, mom. You tried to
Yeah.
keep me locked up for
Oh,
curse
nope.
words. Instead, you taught me how to sneak out and be one with the
Yeah.
world.
That's oh my god, that's, like, what I'm
Yeah,
terrified about is I'm just trying to be, like, kinda level-headed when I catch Simon doing something because I
yeah,
don't want him to be, like, that sneaky little individual like you, you know?
yeah. Like, if you would've just let me say the A word once in a while in a song, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have been running the streets at
Yeah, it's
14
crazy.
years old,
Slinging rock.
slinging kava left and
Kava.
right.
That's
Man, do you
crazy.
remember?
I
I was
wait,
gonna
go ahead.
say, it's kind of off totally off topic, but still nostalgic. My parents had a water bed.
Oh, yeah. What a
Everyone
terrible idea that
I
was.
I mean, it sounds great, right? Like,
Yeah.
you're just but how uncomfortable, like, I'd get motion sickness
Yeah.
personally.
I remember my waterbed. And then I
You had
remember
a
when the
water bed?
waterbed sprung a leak. Yeah.
You had one, not your parents, but
I
you.
I had I well, I think I took
Whoa.
it from my parents. They, like,
Okay,
handed it
hand me
down to
down.
me, which is nice because there was, like you could clean a waterbed. You can't clean a mattress. I don't think I would
Yeah.
have taken a mattress from my parents. I think that that might be a little yucky.
Like,
Um,
I don't remember. So, I remember the long tubes and you filled them with water. But does your sheet just go over the tubes
The long tubes. Is there multiple tubes that you're talking about?
for
It
the
was one giant
waterbed?
bladder for me. Yeah, it was like
Oh,
one
not my
giant
parents.
bladder.
My parents were long, the length of a bed,
Uh-huh.
10 of them, however many in a row that make up the depth or width of the bed.
Wow, that is a much better idea
Yeah, yours was
because I was
one
sleeping
big
on one
bed?
giant bladder. Yeah. So
Oh,
you
wow.
move and you're like, "Whoa, whoa, whoa,
Oh, yeah.
whoa."
I don't know what's better, honestly, but does
Yeah.
did the sheet just go over that tube, or was
Yeah.
there a padding over it? No, it just went right on
Yeah, no,
over.
I remember I was just sleeping right on a giant bladder.
So you burst a leak and you're wet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
That's how it goes. And then the floor is wet. Everything is
everything's
wet.
wet. Our pets'
Yeah,
heads are
there's
falling off.
yeah. Yeah, it'll be funny, like, kids looking back these days, they'll be like, "Oh, man, the good old days when it was like" I don't even know,
They'll
but
be
it's
like,
gonna be so
"Remember"
different from our good old days.
Yeah, they're gonna be like, "Remember Siri? Remember when you would just tell Siri to remind you about something? Or
Yeah,
you would
but
have
now
Siri
Siri
text."
just knows what I want.
Correct. Or it'll be like, "Yeah, remember Find My Friends, and you used to track people's location? Ha, 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 now we can teleport." Yeah.
Yeah, oh my god, it's gonna be crazy to think about that, see
Mhm.
what happens over the next couple of years.
I
Be
know.
nuts. It'd be
Well, just
nuts.
like like back in the day, now I have a Werther's in my mouth. But back in the day, there you did not the camera was a camera. That's it. Nowadays, no one uses a camera unless
Nope.
you are some high-class photographer.
Yep.
It's your phone for everything.
Yeah.
Every single thing. You don't print out pictures anymore. You don't have, like, a box of pictures anywhere.
Nope.
It's all on your phone or in the cloud.
Yeah. One of the biggest scams in the entire world, I think, has been the disposable camera industry,
Um,
because I
my
will
god.
buy them and then I still have them undeveloped, and they're probably ruined at this point.
Yeah.
Like, in theory, good idea, but, like, it just never panned out. I mean, maybe some people do it. Maybe they've got them inside their little photo books with their little captions underneath it and little corners on the picture that are holding it up, like I'm imagining what my grandparents,
Mhm.
that book would be. It's like, "Uncle Dave and I out in the middle of the
Yes.
forest,
Sc
1942."
scrapbooks.
Scrapbooking. Oh,
Oh,
my
yeah.
parents used to scrap the scissors with, like, the little angle things on them so you
Yes.
could cut, like, different Charlie actually ended up getting some of those for his birthday, and he is loving it. He's
Yes.
having
I
so much
remember
fun with
those.
those.
Like, I love going through my parents' old pictures, boxes of
Mhm.
pictures, and seeing pictures of us as children. My kids, what are they gonna go through? Like, my Instagram? Go
Yeah,
through, like, my cloud? Like, they'll just have cloud access or something? Like,
that makes me sad.
same. So I'm like, I wonder, should I be printing these pictures? I know you can there's websites where you can turn them into books or whatever, but,
Yeah.
like, I want my kids to go through them, right? I love going through my parents.
Yeah. Yeah,
I
that's
don't know.
crazy. That's something that
Mhm.
should not be lost, honestly.
Yeah.
I'm gonna figure that out because
Thank you.
like, we've got our Google Photos, and
Mhm.
we've got 53,000 pictures in there that we've
Yes.
saved and liked and shared with other people, but say there's a giant technological downfall, something you don't
Yeah.
know, right? And then
Yeah,
those
or what if
pictures are just
Zuckerberg
gone.
decides to keep all of them hostage for ransom?
Yeah. Oh my god, how much would you pay for those pictures?
You can have them. I would just be
You can have
scared
them.
that the kids can't get them.
Yeah. Yeah,
Hmm,
that's crazy.
pictures,
Have to
yeah.
work on that. The other thing too is, like, this gets talked about pretty frequently, but, like, going somewhere and, like, grabbing a movie, like a VHS. Yeah, going to, like, Hastings or Blockbuster, picking out a movie with your family, and you can actually get candy at the same
Yeah,
spot and maybe, like, a little trinket of some sort so you can go and, like, really enjoy your evening fully, and then being absolutely terrified if you did not rewind the movie.
you're gonna get charged,
Yeah. Could you imagine charging somebody to rewind your own
right?
movie? This is the world we lived in.
Yeah.
This is like you were in trouble if you didn't do the work that somebody else could do because
Imagine
it's like their video.
being so rich back then that you never had to think
Didn't even
about
care.
rewinding. What a
Oh my god.
monster. Yeah.
Yeah,
Always
that's
rewind.
crazy.
Those are the same people who don't return their carts to the cart crate thing.
Oh, dude.
Yeah,
That I actually will take carts and put them in the right spot.
same. So do I.
Yeah. It's
Man, people are
crazy.
monsters. Yeah,
Do you remember
Blockbuster.
what the little thing on the cassette tape? Remember what it said to have you, rewind it to remind
Be
you?
kind, rewind.
Yeah.
Yes,
So good.
good little saying.
Be kind,
Like, do you remem
rewind.
also, I just do schools do still do DARE,
Oh, yeah, dare not to do drugs?
drug abuse resistance education? Do they still teach that?
I was never taught that.
You were never taught DARE? You never had DARE shirts in school?
No, no, I think that might have been, like,
I mean, I am
it ended with your
maybe.
class.
Really, you didn't have DARE?
No, I mean, I remember seeing it, but it was never, like, a thing, you know?
Oh, yeah.
I grew up in a very affluent neighborhood, so we didn't
Okay.
really have drugs where I came from.
Yeah, no, I guess yeah, we were in Illinois, so Chicago, that'll do it.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I don't know, all I know is DARE was a thing. Same with the Smokey the Fire guy,
Oh,
terrified
yep.
us too, like forest fires, and then
Wait,
stop,
Smokey
drop, and
the
roll.
Bear was scary for you?
No, like, those were sayings back in the like, DARE was yeah, because forest fires, like, I thought I was gonna grow up and either die in a forest fire, die
Or
of
quicksand?
drugs, or die from catching on fire and having to
Yeah.
stop, drop, and roll. Like,
I've never once had to stop, drop, or roll.
same, I've never once gotten in a forest fire.
Did they ever have that, the fire department, they would pull up that, little trailer, and it was the fake smoke in there, and they taught you how to get up, get out, crawl low out of the smoke, and then exit the building safely? You
Not
ever
that
see
I
that?
remember, no.
Oh, man, that was so much fun. And I think that maybe that's why, um, I'm not as terrified about house fires because I know I've done it. I've been in this situation before. I was in the room, and they taught me properly on how
Mhm.
to feel the door handle, listen, look underneath, feel the door, back of the hand, back of the hand, back of the hand, and then exit the room safely. Like,
Yeah.
get the hell out.
No, I didn't get that.
Did you did you have an emergency plan for when you were growing up where you were gonna meet your family if there was a fire?
The streetlight.
Streetlight. What
The
do people
streetlight
in
was key
neighborhoods like
for
that, what do you mean?
everything.
It was like, yeah, it was the spot.
Well, like, right now, we don't have a plan. My
You don't.
children no, and maybe that's something to think about. My children are old
Yeah,
enough to where we should have a plan. John and I don't even have a plan.
yeah.
I should do
Do you have a
that.
will set up?
I do.
Oh, good for you. I need
Mhm, do
to.
you?
No, I need to.
Hmm.
I need to. There's been a lot of, like, things that have happened close to, our family, and some people have passed away
Yeah,
recently, and they didn't have that set up, so I
yeah,
gotta make sure that gets set up sooner rather than later, and this
yeah,
is your hey, if you're listening, this is your reminder that you should set a will up.
yep. Even if
So,
it's just you and your cat, like, where do you want your cat to go?
yeah.
Where do you want your collection of Beanie Babies to go? Like, write it down.
Collection of fucking Beanie Babies.
Yeah,
Talk about
Beanie Babies.
nostalgia. They were
Yeah,
giving those things away, what, McDonald's?
yes.
Oh my god, that's
And
crazy.
then there's that famous court scene viral photo that everyone knows about from our generation of the couple who is getting a divorce, and
And who
there's a
gets the
court
Beanie Babies?
there's a courtroom picture of a pile of Beanie Babies, and they had to one at a time pick which one they wanted.
Oh
No
my god,
joke. Remember
that is
Pogs?
crazy. Oh, yeah. Did you ever get yours confiscated at school?
No, I didn't really p my brothers played with them, so they were younger than me, and
Oh,
so
man.
yeah. I remember you'd
Excuse me?
go to the mall, and there'd be huge barrels of
Uh-huh.
just filled with Pogs. You just dig through
Pogs.
them and
What kinda
Slammers. Yeah.
slammers, I was just gonna say
Yeah.
slammers. Yeah, fun. They should bring those back,
I
right?
mean, we can bring them back.
We could totally bring them back.
Yeah. To us, those were like the good old days, right? Like, all that nostalgia, all that craziness, and like we said earlier, it'll be very interesting to see what those are to our children. Like, our very up-to-date technology, new things we're learning now, years from now, our kids are going to be making fun of, like, "Remember?" Yeah, it's
Yeah.
crazy to think.
Oh, so
Um,
you asked me earlier just, like, off camera,
yeah.
right? What's, like, the one boomery thing that I do?
The
And
boomerish thing you
the
do,
most
what is
boom
it?
and I think I've come to, like, a decision here.
Okay.
I would rather call than text.
Wow.
Yeah,
Really?
100 like, every
Well,
time.
first of all, I
Yeah,
believe that because you are a very, very, very bad texter.
and I just hate it.
Yeah. So I do know that if it's gone 10 minutes and you haven't texted me back, but I want an answer immediately, I'm just gonna call you because 'cause
Just
you'll
call me.
answer. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, most of the time.
Yeah, that is a very boomery thing. Like,
Yeah,
you're go where I think the norm for millennials, or at least the, um, thing they joke about is Like, we avoid the phone call with, like, "You're calling me." I'm like, "What? Oh my god, nope. I'm gonna let you go to voicemail, and you can text me if
Yeah.
you need me."
Yeah. So so Katie's like, "Oh," I'm like, "Hey, Katie, can your mom watch the kids tonight?" And she's, like, starting to text, and I'm like, "Why don't you just call her?
Mhm.
Like, you could get an answer, like, pretty quick if you just call."
Yeah.
Like, then you gotta wait. Does she have her phone around her?
Yeah.
What's she doing? Like, you're gonna get a text in, like, 20 minutes when, like, I would like to know now. Like,
Yeah.
just call. Just call.
Yeah.
What
So,
about what
my
about text hold on, what about texting on, like, birthdays? Should you call or do you text?
no, I text.
Wow. Just doesn't mean the same, you know?
Yeah, I agree. Like, my most boomerish thing that I do is when I'm getting close to my destination, like, I'm close to the house, or I'm looking
Mhm.
for an address, or I'm parking in a parking lot that's busy, I turn the radio down so I can concentrate on
Because
getting
who
to the
knows, you
man.
might miss it.
Correct. And John makes fun of me all the time. He's like, "Is it because if the music's too loud, your eyes can't see?" I'm like, "Shut up." Like, I'm just concentrating on what
Shut up.
parking spot. Yes. So
If I wanted some
crazy.
sound, I'd turn the radio back on.
And then even when I'm by myself, music's blasting, I'm getting to a parking lot, and I turn it down. "All right, where am I gonna park?"
Oh my god, I gotta find that good spot.
Or, like, turn it down, "Where's the address I'm going to? Where oh, there it is. It's a good thing
There
the
it is.
radio was down. I
Oh,
would have
thank
never have
god.
found it."
I find myself saying, like, if we're going on a road trip or we're just driving somewhere, like, I will turn this car around. And I never thought that I would do that, but there's been time where I'm like, "You know, we don't need to go. Why don't we
Yep.
just turn around and we're gonna go home? If you guys
Mhm.
can't just be respectful to each other and talk to each other nicely, we're just gonna go home."
Like, that's
And then
that
we obviously never turn around.
that's, of course, empty threats all day.
Yeah.
Except back in the day, the threats my parents gave weren't empty threats. They would turn that car around,
Oh, damn, you just
you
don't
know?
go.
They just don't go. Like, "Oh, okay, we ain't going." Which for me, that's a
That's sad.
punishment as an adult. As an adult, I'm
Yeah,
like, "If I turn this car around, that
you
means I
get to
don't get
miss
to go where
out.
I wanna go." Yeah.
Yep, yeah.
Anyway, but so we can call it nostalgia or we can call it PTSD from our childhood because there's those sayings that your parents would say that are just
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, yeah, that's a back in the day saying." Like, my dad would always say, like, um, like, I'm like, "Can I drive?" He's like, "You are driving me crazy."
Oh, shit. Nice.
That's like classic dad saying from back in the
Hell
day.
yeah. What
Same
about
with,
"I'm
like
hungry"?
what?
What about, like, "I'm hungry"?
What about it?
Do you say, "Oh, nice to meet you, hungry. I'm Jeff." You ever do that?
No.
No? My kids so Charlie now, 3-year-old, he's like, "Stop saying that, dad." He, like, gets all frustrated at me.
Or
That's
like,
funny.
you have the door open and it's like, "I'm not paying to heat the neighborhood," or whatever.
"You're trying to heat up the great outdoors?"
Yes.
My dad used to say that too. My
Or like, I
god.
remember thinking anytime the light in the car, like the back light was on inside
You
the
can't see.
car, like we were gonna get arrested
Oh,
and
yeah.
that my parents
Illegal.
can't see, like they're blind or something. You know how
Yeah.
many times I've driven with the lights on? I can see just fine. No
Yeah.
cops are pulling me over,
See,
but I thought we're gonna
is
get
this stuff they made
arrested.
up?
Yes.
Like, this has just been something that's been made up and passed along through
Yes.
from generation to generation.
Yeah, totally. And, like, what are
I
the things
don't
we
like.
say to our kids? Like, I always say, "Maybe," no matter what it is, like, "Maybe. Can we do this? I don't know. We'll see." We're not gonna see.
No,
We're
we're
not
not
going
gonna
to the
it's not
park.
happening. It's not
Mm,
gonna happen.
I'm just saying
Not
that. I'll
today.
distract you with something else.
Yeah. Are you sure you don't wanna go watch television?
Oh, yeah, right? Just so much easier.
Memory lane.
You're
God.
welcome, guys. We just gave
Yeah,
everyone a fabulous trip down memory lane. If you're a
yeah.
90s kid,
Oh,
90s kid, so born in the '80s, raised in the '90s, right?
yep,
That's the
yep.
appropriate way to say it? Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Nice. Well, anyway, thanks for the trip.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thanks for joining.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, wait, me? Like, comment,
Everyone.
subscribe.
Yes,
Let us know
please.
about the things that were important to you, the things that you loved as a child,
Yes,
maybe things we
those
missed.
things. It's like, is there a specific smell? Is there a specific toy? Is there a specific commercial? Is there a
Anything.
game you used to play that is just like, "Oh my gosh, those were the good
Why
old
didn't we
days."
talk about it? Twister. We didn't even talk about Twister.
Well, because my kids still play Twister.
Oh, seriously? Well, that's
Yeah.
good.
Mhm.
I haven't
It's
seen
great.
Twister in a minute.
Oh god, it's great.
Alright, yeah, let us know what it is. What did
Yeah,
we miss?
tell us. I'm sure there's tons.
Nah. Hell yeah. Sweet. Alright, well, until
Well,
next time, my friends.
see ya, boomer.
Bye, boomer.
Bye.